I'm Lolly Adefope and I'm a comedian and actress. About 3 or 4 years ago, I wanted to do comedy, but I was too scared to do stand-up. I started off doing open mic gigs in London, so I wrote a character that was 5 minutes and just did that at various gigs, and then met other comedians and slowly started being offered better gigs, and then went to Edinburgh and did some gigs there and got an agent, and then started going up for auditions and doing acting as well, and writing my own shows and taking them to Edinburgh. I think I take a lot of inspiration from people I know or things that have happened to me. So I do lots of different accents and voices and things in my characters, and those will be like impressions of people that I've met and funny voices that I've picked up on. So sometimes things that aren't necessarily funny, but I've tried to see the funny side of them, or people who just have sort of slightly weird personality traits or quirks that I can mould into a character. I do a character called Damien Speck, he calls himself a cultural awareness coordinator specialising in verbal sensitivity, and he teaches you how to be politically correct, but is actually completely non-politically correct, and he gets everything completely wrong. And he thinks that he's speaking on behalf of Muslim people and black people and telling you what they get offended by, but it's actually being really offensive himself. And it was actually based on a woman who I know who's really nice, but I just found her voice very funny. So I put that voice with that character and made her this weird caricature version. There's a lot of amazing work being performed and written by female comedians. So I think people are kind of getting to the stage where they realise that being funny isn't to do with your gender. It's still slightly male dominated, I think, with stand-up in the UK, but I think slowly people are getting to the state where they don't need to separate them as much as they did before. And women are proving that it's nothing to do with your gender, whether you're funny or not, it's just people are funny or they're not funny. So it's quite an exciting time, I think, especially in television, for lots of female writers and female performers. I think if you've thought about it for 1 second, then just do it, because I don't think you'll ever stop thinking about doing it if you don't do it. I think what's good about comedy is live comedy, you can just make your own material and find a gig to do it at. There'll always be open mic gigs and there'll always be material in your head that you can write. So you can kind of create your own work to a certain extent at the beginning, which is quite fun. So I'd say just go out there and do it. It will never be as bad as the first time you do it, because that will always be quite bad to a certain extent.